told 30 minutes ago there's no slides, and I'm up here just talking. So, great to be in Sydney. It's our best city. Perth's our most beautiful city, but this is our greatest city. So it's just always good to see some familiar faces around. I'm Chris Gale, Managing Director of Latin Resources. We're here today to talk about our Salinas lithium project in Brazil. Latin this month is 15 years old. We've been operating for quite some time now in South America. We're extremely experienced. We've learned from our mistakes, which is half the reason why I think we've been such a success. We started off with copper in Peru. In 2016-17, I saw the boys in the Pilbara, my home state of Western Australia, start drilling things out called spodumene pegmatites. And I thought, Ken Brisbane, who I knew reasonably well then, I gave him a call and said, what's going on with these, what's these pegmatites, mate? A mine order thing called spodumene. He said, Chris, it's the future. So I spoke to my geos in Peru. We basically started to do desktop studies across South America. I looked at brines. I actually got SRK to do a report for me on brines, and I watched Orocobra sort of suffering in a way. They're a great company today as all can, but we started looking for hard rock spodumene pegmatites. We did pretty decent studies on around South America. We found some in Catamarca in Argentina. In 2017, we drilled those. Good grades, thin intercepts. We're still looking through that now. We're just getting drill permits to start back in there early next year. And then someone sent me a deck of Sigma lithium. I don't know, there's probably a few people have heard of Sigma in this room, but they're the Pilbara Minerals of TSX, and they're now listed on NASDAQ, $6 billion market cap. They announced their first JORC resource in end of 2018. In 2019, I rang Ken again and said, Ken, my geos are great geos, but they don't understand pegmatites. So he just finished his drilling campaign. I grabbed one of his guys and another junior geo, pulled them out, threw them into Brazil. With our Brazilian geologist, Pedro, we spent the next 10 months exploring, mapping from Sigma to where we are today in Salinas, ministerised state, which is probably, if not the best mining jurisdiction in South America, it's certainly the best mining, if not the best, it is the best mining jurisdiction in Brazil, but if not South America. Ministerised in English means general mining. Been operating there now for well over 200 years in mining, 300 operating mines, produces the third biggest GDP earner for the country, 200 billion a year. It's just a wonderful jurisdiction to be in. Governor Zema, who we're very close to, has just created a lithium valley in Brazil, and he sees Sigma and Latin as the key stakeholders to develop his dream of taking Brazil to the next level into production and into up there around where Western Australia is today. So Western Australia turned in 2016 to now the largest lithium producer in the world from lithium spodumene. Argentina, 10 years ago, was producing 27,000 tonnes of LCE. Last year, they produced 37 million tonnes of LCE. Sigma have just gone in production, so they started construction of their plant in February of last year. They completed that construction in February of this year. They spent 3 months commissioning. I was with Annika Bell watching the commissioning, and I went back to watch the first line of production. They built that plant, went in production within 18 months. That plant is going to be as big as Pilbara Minerals. So watch the Brazilian space. It's about to crack open. Latin put our first hole down. We got hit bad by COVID. Brazil was hit bad by COVID. We then got the guys back on the ground in the 21. We had to pull everyone out of there. Back in 21, we drilled our first hole last year and had our discovery hole. We had a maiden JORC resource in December of 13.3 million tonnes at 1.3%. We announced our upgrade in June of this year, 45 million tonnes at 1.3%. Of that 45 million tonnes, 30 million tonnes measured and indicated is 1.4%. The more drilling we do, the higher the grade gets. That's one of the best signs that any deposit, grade's still king in anything, doesn't matter what it is. Typically in South America and hard rock in Brazil, we're getting grades an average of 1.3 to 1.6. WA, you're getting 1 to 1.2. But the material, more importantly, the material that we're getting out of this, if we actually just run our DMS test pilot plant, we're getting 80% recovery rates on heavy liquid separation at lab scales. We ran that through SGS Lakefield in Canada. We actually got 93% recovery at pilot plant scale. So this material is very coarse. I don't have a picture of it here. Very coarse, really recovers exceptionally well. Peter Oliver sits on our board. Peter Oliver joined the board 12 months ago, next month. Peter Oliver is a guy that turned Greenbushes from tin tantalum mine into the world's biggest and most profitable lithium mine, Greenbushes. So for us, and Peter's, we now have Minsol, the process engineers that work on Greenbushes, they're working on our project. They've never seen recovery rates like this. They've never seen material like this. It's a special place. It's a really special type of material we're getting out of that. We have 11 drill rigs on site. We have 65,000 metres to finish this year, and we've just signed up for another 30,000 first quarter of next year. This is the largest exploration project in Minas Gerais, and that's saying something. This resource will grow significantly over the next 6 months. Why do we want to grow the resource? I talk, obviously move around a lot, talk to a lot of analysts, brokers, and I ask people, what's a tier one lithium global asset? No one can really answer that question, but the guys in the know what that is. And that a tier one global lithium asset is the ability to produce 100,000 tonnes of LCE each year for 20 years. So what we're aiming for us to have that, which means we're going to produce between 750 to 800,000 tonnes of spodumene, we need to have somewhere between 60 to 85 million tonne at around an average of 1.3%. That's what we're aiming for here. Because if we can become a tier one lithium asset producer, and I was pleased to see that RBC a couple of weeks ago in one of their graphs actually relabeled us from explorer to a developer. That was a major milestone for us and it's really pleasing to see. So we're now in the development stage and we're really excited about building resource going into production. So Sigma, getting back to those guys, they have an 85 million tonne resource at 1.4%. They're a $6 billion market cap. And over the next 4 or 5 years, we'll see them turn into, I think, powerhouse globally. Coupled with Latin, and I'll talk a little bit now, our production, our development moving into production's timeline. For us, the next big step, you'll see in the next couple of weeks, is the launch or the publish of our PEA, our preliminary economic assessment will be out by the end of September. You guys will be able to put real numbers around this project. We're very confident it's going to be very positive. You'll be able to put real numbers around that. Corporately, was really pleased. Last Monday, Morgan Stanley announced that we were now part of the Morgan Stanley Small Cap Index, which is the MSCI, which is another big milestone for us corporately. We're very well funded. We've basically got enough money in the bank to get through to our DFS. Once that PA is published, we're moving right into our DFS. That'll be completed in June of next year. We'll then have our environmental study started November of last year. They'll be completed by June. Our development application will go in June. The Minas Gerais government have committed to us to approve that within 6 months. We've committed to jobs and investment in the state, which gives us the ability of getting what's called their fast track approval process, which means ultimately that we can start construction first quarter 25. We're going to follow Sigma's pathway. Every consultant that worked on Sigma's projects working on ours. We're talking to the contractors that actually built their plant right now. We're very close to Sigma. I would speak to Anna 2 or 3 times every month. They've really been, inspirational in a way to getting us where we are today. So we will start construction first quarter 25. We'll complete that construction within 12 months. And everyone says you're crazy. It's never going to happen. It's been done. Sigma's just finished it and done it. 3 to 4 months, I think, from our aspect, 3 to 4 months of commissioning production by June 26. So, it's a big call. We've got a lot more hard work to do yet. We're committed to do that hard work. We've got a great team. We have over 200 people on site. The team we're building around getting this DFS completed is just fantastic, and we're moving into production. So Watch this space. We're a $800 million market cap versus a $6 billion market cap with Sigma. We're about 18 months behind in my calculation. So thanks very much, guys. Good on you.